This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proud to be partnering with Lotto from the National Lottery. You know that Lotto's basically the OG millionaire maker, right? You can get involved and play every Wednesday. Crazy. Imagine you won this Wednesday's jackpot. How wild would that be? Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Bradford, it's P-Green. He's got to make this count. It's P-Green. It's 1-1.
Right, shall we get this show on the road, shall we? Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Chickens on the Loose podcast. And we are live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, and Kick and DLive. And we are talking about Bradford versus Barrow today on the podcast. Also, we'll be talking about the dreaded Morecambe game, the latest Bradford City news, the weather forecast, and what's on your plate. And just like a Bradford City injury bench, we're a bit injured today. There's two of us. There's me and Haru. So Haru should be able to hear me.
Yes, Johnny, I can hear you loud and clear, mate.
Right, Haru. So let's get straight into it. What were your thoughts on the Morecambe game?
Jesus Christ, where do I start? A shocking game, shocking performance. And Neil Barrow with that red card. Jeez. Even though we are now out of the FA Cup, I don't think there's any point of that red card holding up for Neil Barrow. And I've seen the replay where he decked the Morecambe player, which is absolutely dreadful. And yes, we did lose 1-0, but shocking game, shocking performance by the Bantams again against Derek Adams. Morecambe side once again away.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proud to be partnering with Lotto from the National Lottery. What would you do if you won £1 million this Wednesday? I mean, would you roll up to the game this weekend in a brand new ride, picking up your mates like some VIP chauffeur, or better yet, scrap the car altogether and book out the entire first-class train carriage for you and all your mates? I'm talking champagne flowing, your own private waiter, the whole squad living it up on the way to the match. Now that's an entrance. You never know, you may be the next millionaire. Lotto's all about those once-in-a-lifetime moments. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
So I was at the game, standing up watching the game, and I just thought, here we go. Thought we did all right for the first half. Still no shots on target.
Yeah.
We just couldn't score. We tried and tried and tried. We knocked on that door 3 times, and we could just not blow that house down. It was shocking, and we need to change, I think. So with did he punch him then, Haru? Did he haymaker him?
Basically, decked him one, I think he punched him because one of my friends actually told me about it and he sent me the video and I was like, what the hell? So I watched it. It was like, I don't know if he wanted to punch. He was just he just barged his shoulder into him, but he made some sort of contact and the Morecambe player hit the floor. That's what I forgot about the video.
Yeah, because where I was standing, we're just like, what the earth's happened? And then I've obviously seen the video on social media a couple of days later. But same again, no fight, no passion, no desire in that team. And I think things need to change. Have you got anything else you want to speak about the Morecambe game?
Nope, that's all I've got to say about the Morecambe game. Like, once again, we lost against Derek Adams' side once again. And when they faced us at Valley Parade, I don't see us winning that game, to be honest.
Okay, right. So moving on now to Bradford City versus Barrow, live tomorrow at the University of Bradford Stadium, and it is live on Sky Sports Plus, and the referee is Thomas Parson. And we'll just go into a couple of stats for the referee, like we normally do. In the EFL Trophy, he's had 2 appearances, 9 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, no penalties. In League One, he's had 3 appearances, 13 yellow cards, 1 second yellow, no reds, 2 penalties. In League Two, he's had 7 appearances, 32 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, 1 penalty. In the National League, he has given 1 yellow card, 1 appearance, 6 yellow cards, no second yellows, 1 pen, no penalty. FA Cup, he's had 1 appearance, 5 yellow cards, no second yellows, 1 penalty and 1 red card. Altogether, he's had 14 appearances, dished out 65 yellow cards, 1 second yellow, 2 reds and 4 penalties. A bit more stats again. So the top goal scorer for Bradford is Lord Cook. He has had 9 goals, no assists and played 16 matches. Vissel for Barrow, 3 goals, no assists, 17 matches played. Bit of insight, Bradford have scored 4 goals in their last 5 matches, haven't scored in the last 2 matches. Andy Cook is top goal scoring competition with 9. Barrow have not scored 5 goals in their last 5 matches. Gerard Garner has scored the most shots on target per match for Barrow, 1. And Ben Jackson has created the most big chances for Barrow on 5. Couple of post-matches, so we say Barrow have lost against Doncaster, drawn against Colchester, won against Bradford, Aston Villa Academy, lost against AFC Wimbledon, and Chesterfield, they've lost 1-0. Bradford have won 3-1 against Aldershot, lost against Fleetwood, drawn against Colchester, lost against Rotherham in the Mickey Mouse Trophy, and obviously lost against Derek Adams in the FA Cup. Just game gone. So, Haru, typically, we've got no team news, we've got nothing. So, what is your thoughts then on the game against Barrow tomorrow?
To be honest, I've got no clue. We have been played absolutely crap. Obviously against Derek Adams' side. Obviously, I remember last season, I'm pretty sure it was against Barrow away. We needed them points, and we managed to score a scrappy winner in the last minutes in last season. I'm hoping that we don't fall off track again this season against Barrow. I hope we just smash them out of the park and get them 3 points, and hopefully make sure that the attackers do not get anywhere close to our goal, and the defenders need to make sure that they're absolutely on their game tonight, because when I watched that, I'm just going to link it back to the Morecambe game because I don't know what the hell happened there, but they just need to make sure they don't make the same mistake against Barrow at home. Otherwise, we may be losing out on 3 points.
So with the team, obviously I've not seen any team news, but just going back to the team who played Morecambe, we had Walker Byrne, who's obviously been sent off, Huntington, Shepherd, Halliday, Poynton, Smallwood, Walker, Ben, Sanderson, Cook, with Patterson, who came on as a sub, Adwa, Cav, Lewis Richardson, Vadim Oliver came on also. We had Colin Doyle, Baldwin, Diabates and Evans on the bench. So do you think any of them will have a chance of starting on tomorrow?
I've got a feeling Pato may start. Jamie Walker will definitely, hopefully start. Obviously, Sam Walker 100% will be starting. Who else? I think most of the main 11 will be starting. I want to say Huntington will not start. I think he's better as a cup games rather than league. Obviously, he was with Carlisle 2 seasons ago when we lost to them in the playoffs. He was captain for Carlisle, but since then, I don't think he's been good enough for us. But yeah, I think most of the lads, apart from some people, will be starting. Hopefully, Alex Pintzel will not be a substitution. He will be a main 11 player for that Barrow game, because I would love to see him just smash Barrow out of the park. And Bobby Pointon, to be honest, I hope he plays tomorrow, because I remember last season, same again with Barrow last season away, he scored a worldie. So that's my thoughts.
I really hope we do beat Barrow tomorrow. My head is probably saying 1-0 Barrow, 1-0 to us, sorry. My heart is thinking, I think it's going to be the downfall tomorrow.
You think?
No, I put something on social media the other day. Let me just get it up, actually.
Isn't that a great Alexander thing?
Yeah, I put it out on 2. So I put it out on X. Let me get it up here. So I put it out on X earlier in the week after the result. Basically put, I know Spark should go. We've had failures after failures. But after the loss versus Morecambe, should Alexander get the sack if we lose versus Barrow on Tuesday? Put loss against Yorkshire Derby, loss against Harrogate, and then obviously put loss against Morecambe ×2 League and Cup. But I know that were wrong. We drew against Morecambe, we were lost in the Cup. And people's, obviously, you know what our Twitter fan base is like. So we've had Matthew. I've said no, I don't think Alexander is fully to blame, although some of his interviews of late and bizarre selections. I move into the out camp. He won't criticise players, he only says what they've done well. Players won't improve performance without criticism. Then put Harry, because sacking managers mid-season has worked so well. Every other time, the squad's playoffs at best, and even I think Alexander is overachieving. Any manager under the regime is doing it there, hands tied behind their back, as the high-ups don't care. We've had Lancaster Bantam. You can't sack them. You can't sack not what he has. I do question tactics and subs, but what we lack goals and simple. Some dickhead gives Smith and Oliver a 3-year deal like confetti. Highest earner isn't in the team, doesn't score when he is. Without Cook, we are bottom of half. AI is put only if a credible manager is available. I don't think I can blame for Walker throwing them. Sanderson failing, Cav failing, Oliver and Smith not stepping up, Holiday loss of form, but down to him, right not left back. Lack of pace on the side, Ben 0. Confidence. Just see if there's anything else. So that was our fan base on TikTok and Twitter, sorry. And then I asked the same question on the Facebook group, and this had 39 comments. So Tony on Facebook, not yet. Give him till the end of the season. See how we finish, and see where we are. But what should happen is stop on crock players coming in at transfer windows. Our scouts at BSC must be a joke. The club has no money, but players crock players' wages, even though out for months. Club would not put good players on transfer lists, so what's happening with our agents? Then Liz, sacking managers have never worked before, so I think he should be given till the end of the season. Cameron, give him until the end of the season. If we fail to make the playoffs at a minimum, then yes, we need to look elsewhere. And said he goes, those above him need to go as well. Stuart, he's not for me, I'm afraid. G here has made some very poor decisions, in my opinion, letting Gilly go from the start. Second, allowing Oliver to start games, or even being in the squad. He can remedy the situation by recalling Wilson from his loan spell, bringing better players in during the window, plus convincing certain players to leave. Like you do on post-salt time, I've had a bit of criticism. Michael, stupid post. If sacking the manager was the answer, why has no manager worked since Parky left? Win and everything great, and lose. It's Roop's fault. Spark's fault. Alexander has to go. I agree. We deserve better by a fan, but sacking manager every 12 months is not the answer. So, Haru, there's some of our lovely Facebook questions.
Goodness, where do I start?
Yeah, where do you start, mate?
Where do I start here, mate? Like, obviously, 100%. I don't agree with sacking Graham Alexander at the moment. But myself, when he came in November, after Kevin McDonald finished his spell as manager, he has taken us from November to the end of the season, last season, to 1 point behind promotion players. And I was saying, from that season, but watch what he's going to do with us for a full season. Yes, every manager has a few bad games. Obviously, Graham Alexander has had a couple bad games throughout the season currently. But like I said, keep it until the end of the season. I would say if we are below 10th place, at the end of the season, yes, we may look elsewhere, but at the moment, I don't agree with sacking him. But yes, two of his biggest mistakes is getting rid of Gilead and putting Stubbsy on loan until January.
Yes.
That is one of his biggest mistakes that he's ever done, is getting rid of Gilly and putting Stubbsy on loan. We should never have done that, because Gilly and Stubbsy are classic players, and we needed them in that team yesterday against Morecambe. What I would think is that if we had Gilly and Stubbsy, we could have scored something. We could have defended better. But with Graham Alexander, it is hard, because I do question his substitutions. Also, I have to say this all the time. We can't just blame the manager and sack the manager every single 12 months. The players have to be taken into account as well. They might have a bad day. If they have a bad day, the manager needs to speak to them, understand what's happening, and if they want to play or not, they don't have to just leave them on the bench or something like that. We can't have players who are coming in with low morality and to just take a shit on the pitch of the game. We need to have players who are confident, who are high morality, that want to play and play for the club, play for the badge, play for the fans, and not these players that will just have low morality. They just want to get this over with. We need to have the players thinking that, are they good enough for the club? Are they good enough for the club? And everything like that, because end of the day, it is what it is. We can't just sack the manager. We can't blame it all on the manager. We have to put the players into account as well. They have to take responsibility themselves as well.
So just to spread it across like social media fairnessly. So then we've had Michael on TikTok. Tell me who's going to come in and change things that previous manager hasn't able to do. Sack Alexander and the season over. So I replied to it, basically get Pete Wilding is free. Who said he would want to come and work under the ownership? There's no guarantee do any better. Any other manager, or he needs to be given. Xmas to change it. Then Daniel on Facebook, on TikTok again. The timing of the letter was just ridiculous. At least we've got a new roof for our club shop, which is something to boast about. And then Theo, it's difficult one for GA, as in record he has these long losing and long winning streaks. We have lots of injuries, and the season, however, some of our lineup substitutes of poor. So it looks like it's a bit mixed all over social media. He's just like Marmite. You either love him, you hate him, or you want him to get rid of.
It's all mixed. It's all mixed.
Yeah. So my opinion on this is, looking at league table, I think Barrow are 13th. I think I said earlier when someone asked me to look. Barrow 13th. We are currently, let's quickly get the league table up. League 2. So, yeah, we are 10th, Barrow 13th. So, if we lose tomorrow, people probably blame Alexander, people probably blame the owner, people probably blame the players, they'll probably blame the new roof, what's being installed.
Yeah, probably.
Stuff at this club is driving me around the bend. And it's like, Haru, like we've always said, Bradford City is absolutely roller coaster of a ride. I think we've been,
exactly.
How long have we been in this league? Is it 6 years?
I think since ever since 2018-19 season, mate.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years probably been in this league. We've had Stockport go down, come up, Wrexham come down, come up, and it probably won't surprise me if York are going to go up this season from the National League. We just need to change at this club. And it needs to change fast. If we do lose on Saturday, tomorrow. Personally, I think it'll be the end of Graham Alexander. People have got opinion. People slate me on Twitter. People slate me on Facebook. People slate me on X, every single social media site. People in this country, what I like about this country, people have got their opinion on stuff and we're allowed to air it. We'll just have to be careful what we say, but people can air it. And in my opinion, if Alexander does lose tomorrow, pack his bags, send him in a taxi to wherever and go and get Pete Wild. I know people have been saying it's the ownership, it's the CEO of the club. But you're saying, apparently he's going to put money in the club in January. Obviously we've got a new roof. We're paying £1.50 for booking fees now. Yeah. So
there has been talks, apparently. There has been talks that Rupp may be buying the stadium back. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that was going on in his first letter, wasn't it? From who owns Flamingo Land or whatever his name is. Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But if he buys it back, like I was saying, Haru, when I met somebody in the pub in on Friday, Saturday, in the pub near the ground, I think he's going to buy the ground back, and then I think he'll probably sell the club in about 6 months' time. Obviously, he's got more band for his book, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he can't sell it if he doesn't own the ground. Once he buys the ground, he's just going to double the money, sell it on, and then just go with all his money that he's just been received for selling Bradford City, and we'll just get another owner who's going to probably do the same shit that Stefan Rupp and Ryan Sparks have done.
The problem is, if we do ever get a new owner, it needs to start at the top. It needs to clear out the past staff. Because
100%.
If you look at it now, how many owners, how many managers has Sparks actually brought into this club? How many? Is it 4 years he's been at the club? Or is it more than 4 years? Is it 4 or 5 years?
Rupp. You know about Rupp?
Sorry, not Rupp, Sparks. Is it,
I think it's about 5 years now.
5, 6 years been at the club. And we just, it's just like deja vu, same shit, different day. So,
exactly.
If we do lose tomorrow, I personally think things will possibly change.
Also, I want to bring something to your attention, Johnny. There has been rumours circulating on Twitter. What I've seen is that people are hosting a protest at Valley Parade again.
Is it?
To get ownership out.
Where have you heard this from?
It was on Twitter. I don't think I could. I'll try to find it after the pod, but I've seen it circulating about the other day, and I forgot to screenshot it.
Oh, is it the things with the red cards?
I think so. Yeah,
I don't think that's a protest. I think that's just somebody just got their hands on a colouring book or something and just thought it'd be hilarious to colour some pictures in.
Yeah, because people have been saying that there's gonna be a protest outside Valley Parade tomorrow for Rupp and Sparks to get out. We've had it before. It didn't work, did it?
It did. To be fair, it did. It did a little bit. I know Steve's here on his other account, but Steve, if you want to send in a request or something and just want to explain if anything's happening at your end on a protest or if you've heard anything on the grapevine, because I'm getting a bit fed up.
I don't know if the rumours are true or not. I don't think it's true, but I thought I'd just let you know because I don't know if it's true or not.
Yep, he's here. So I know it normally takes a couple of minutes to come through.
Not hearing.
Hiya, Steve. You okay, mate?
Hey, Johnny. How are you? You well?
Yeah, I'm fine. Better than normal now.
Yeah, it's like Groundhog Day, isn't it?
It is same shit, different day.
Yeah.
So what's your take? So anyone who's joining or listening now, this is Steve on his different account, but he's on with the Bradford City Independent. He's a great guy. Give him a follow on X. He likes sharing stuff and talking to people on it. Yeah. So what's your thoughts then, Steve, on the situation at Bradford City currently?
Well, it's not fantastic, is it? Let's face it. We sit in 10th, and I like everybody. I've seen the the kind of comments on social media from various people, and yeah, you're right. There is a split at the moment, but I think that split's really driven by the past history of the club. And what I mean by that, Johnny, is that, yes, we knew what we were getting with Graham Alexander, but he was a rushed appointment. He was a panic appointment, simply because we had nobody else at that time. And Sparks was in a position where he had to basically get somebody in. So Alexander was brought in. Now, Alexander's always been a long ball merchant. And the reality is we've seen it at the moment where he's knocking the ball over the top, but we're not really getting any kind of, Andy Cook's on scraps at the moment. He's basically kind of done very, very well this season again. And the main worry, I think, for most fans now is what happens if Andy Cook gets injured, a significant injury. God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen. But what happens if that happens? Because we really are lacking any kind of additional firepower. And because we're kind of missing out our midfield and trying to basically kind of play ticky-tacky football and going backwards, as we've done before, we're not creating anything. And teams that we should be, and it's a common history now for Bradford City, is that we go against teams who are on long runs of defeats, who are struggling in the league, and we don't do anything against them. And to the point now where we get fans basically saying that'll be their first 3 points in a while and from us. And that's basically what's happening now, is that I think we're just a little bit lost. I don't think we look fit as a squad. And the old adage of what are they actually doing in training comes to light. I don't think Jamie Walker's the same player this season. We can definitely say Brad Halliday's not the same player this season. So what gives? What's the common denominator? The problem that I've got, Johnny, is that if we basically remove Graham Alexander right now, then we're left then with the same cycle. You're right, Sparks has overseen a significant number of managers, and unfortunately I've got notes beside of me of how many he's overseen. But, do we then fall into the same circle, the same cycle? We hire somebody who is evidently not good for the club, who doesn't play the type of football that Bradford City is renowned for in its past, and that was, we basically use a strong midfield, we use wingers, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure people have a different view of how we should play, but, I think that if we do remove Alexander, I think that this season's done, if I'm being honest. We're sat in 10th. We are on a poor run of form at the moment. We're struggling, I think, for goals. But I'm in the camp of, do we keep repeating this cycle? Because I'm not confident that Ryan Sparks will hire the right person. And right now as well, I'm kind of questioning why Sharp's in the building, because the reality is that we've invested another salary in an individual who, for me right now, I'm not really sure what he's doing, to be fair.
Fair points. So, Callie, I know you've just joined, love. So we're just currently talking about basically Graham Alexander. Should he get relieved of his duties? And I've read out people's posts from Facebook, Twitter and X. So get your thoughts on it, Callie, love.
I think Graham Alexander needs at least the rest of this season to carry on. It's his team. It's his first full season in charge. I think it's too soon yet. That's just my opinion. I think when January comes, we need another striker at least. What I feel we're short of in that team is a good winger. Like back in the day, we used to have Max Marshall, Jamie Lawrence's, them kind of players that would run with the ball down the sides.
We've always had them, Kelly, literally Mark Ellis, John Hendry. There's a long list of wingers that we've had.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. We haven't got that kind of player in there at the minute that's feeding. We're relying on Cookie all the time. It's not good enough. He's not getting... Cookie doesn't always bang him in. 9 times out of 10 he does. But obviously, last Saturday he didn't, again. And he needs more of them energetic players that can run through other players. and get that ball down to the other end. That's what we're lacking. That's what I feel.
We need a playmaker in the team. I thought Jamie Walker would be able to do that role a little bit, but we've stopped creating things. And basically what we do is we've gone back to that, let's move it side to side and backwards, instead of basically really going out to try and hurt the teams. We just don't seem to have that killer instinct right now.
Steve, do you think with Jamie Walker, do you think his head's been turned by the rumours of him going to Carlisle, I think it was? Do you think his head's been turned with that, and that's why he's not playing very good?
The thing is, Johnny, these are professional footballers. They're paid a lot of money in the scheme of things against normal people. They're paid a lot of money. And he's done it as, Hearts is a huge club in Scotland. He's done it in big crowds. I don't know whether that's the case. All I can say is that something's off. This last close season we had just felt completely different in terms of what we're then starting to see. I mean, Halliday is a big worry for me right now because he doesn't look the same player he was last season. And I can't put my finger on why, because nothing seems to have changed. And I agree with Callie. I mean, look, I think, we've got a situation where he's got a January transfer window. I think the club's got to go balls out because they've got the money. We've got young money. We've got other money. I don't know about the investment from Rupp. I can't prove it either way in terms of whether he has invested. We have had investment in terms of club infrastructures being rolled out with the roof. But, ultimately, I think fans were looking for a good, significant investment in terms of on-field assets rather than off-field infrastructure.
It's like at the game on Saturday, there was Trollers saying on social media here on X, we're not tick-attack football teams. We've been known for hoofball. I agree with you there, mate. Because watching the game, we were just smashing it up front. And obviously Andy Cook's 30-odd now. He's not got a Ferrari engine anymore. He's struggling. We've got Vidane Oliver, highest earner, I think, at Bradford City. Not even got like a sponsor at the gate at Bradford City. So things need to change. Callie, got your hands up, love?
From an early kick-off in the Sunday League to the final whistle at Wembley. From local heroes to international icons, groundsmen to gaffers, grassroots to golden boots. When it comes to football, it's everyone's game. Wherever you're listening across the UK, get your mates together with Carling, the beer of football. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Yeah, on Saturday we couldn't put good enough passes together. We were forever losing possession. The whole, probably, I would say at least 70% of the game, we were losing possession constantly. We couldn't. We can sit there as fans, can't we? And we can see where it's going wrong. So why can't they? Why can't? I think a lot of it is the players aren't in the right positions. And you were talking about Jamie Walker earlier. He was amazing for us a few months back. He didn't put a foot wrong, and now he can't even string a pass together either. I'm with Steve. I don't get what's going wrong.
We seem to have gone really off the boil, and I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. We as the Independent have kept quiet really because we wanted to give Rupp an opportunity to try and deliver on what he needs to do, because there's no point doing a protest after protest for the sake of doing it. So we didn't want to kind of disturb on-field aspect of things as well. But we did want to give them, the club, an opportunity to do what they need to do and deliver on what they said they were going to do. So we can't say it's off-field kind of distractions. So then the question is, well, what is it? Because we look half a yard short of pace. We look disorganised at times. As Callie's rightly pointed out, we can't seem to complete our sets, our passing sets. And, that's not good enough, when you're a professional club. You should be able to complete your basics. And it's almost like you do want to go back to basics as a club and say, right, okay, let's just make sure that we kind of get our defensive zonal structures sorted, our passing structure, our movement, and then go from there. Because what happens, or what's happened this season is we've seen little flashes of it, how good it could be, and what I think the club lacks on field at the moment is consistency. We don't know how each team's going to perform week to week, game to game. We don't know. He could name the same side, 5 times in a row, and we get a probably different performance each time.
So we've had 2 comments. First of all, we've had Troller again on X. Halliday was a one-hit wonder, a purple season, or Ben has stood in his place and is sulking. And then for everybody, we've had Jake, who is saying, people are saying Roop out. I disagree now. He's putting in what he can. He's not a trillionaire, and people don't realise that. He's trying to buy VP. He's putting what he can in. It's not cheap to run a football club. He will have a house to pay for and a life to live. He does what he can. What's your thoughts on that, guys and girls?
I think Rupp's doing as much as he can. He's still with us. He's still investing. He's willing to invest in January. I think we've got to wait and see what happens in January, haven't we, first, and then see what goes forward in that situation. But he has to spend some money in January. There's no doubt about that. And from Saturday's game, the game did look better than it should have done, probably, because Morecambe was so bad as well. But obviously they managed to get that goal, in the second half. But something has to change. Me for a fan, Saturday I felt so low after the game, and I've not felt like that for a long time. But obviously, I drove all the way from Nottingham to go to the game to watch that. And you go, don't you, with all the full of hope, and that, maybe this game we're going to turn it round. And it was such a long drive home on Saturday for me personally. But you still support them. We still turn up. We still go. We still think, next game's going to be better. And that, as fans, that's what we're going to carry on doing, like a lot of us have done for a lot of years.
It's like I were speaking to Liz today, Callie, about the game. And she said she just might not be going anymore due to, obviously, the bringing tickets out left, right and centre over Christmas period. It's costing people a lot of money. I think it's like 27 quid for Crew, 20 quid for Barrow, and possibly it's going to be like nearly 25 quid for Carlisle over the Christmas period.
Yeah, I completely get that. And for me, it's petrol. It's like 40 quid petrol on top of all the tickets and the actual games. And fans are going to start stopping away, and then you're in that vicious circle again where you're not going to be the 12th man. There were points at the Morecambe game where we were the 12th man, and you could feel that. They could feel like it might change, and that we were egging them on a lot more. And for me, that makes a big difference at games.
Well, Steve, I know you've been kept quiet, obviously, with the Independent, but what is your next step now? So say, heaven forbid, we do lose tomorrow. What would your steps be going forward for the Independent group?
So right now, Johnny, we are... we're just watching. We've been watching for some time now. We had a break because we all needed a holiday and things like that, and needed a rest from Bradford City because we'd been literally knee deep in it for absolutely ages. And so now we're just watching. Time is everything with these things. We don't want to alienate our supporters because we're supporters ourselves. And we don't want to cause damage amongst our fan base, shall we say. Nor do we want to kind of hurt the club. But the reality is right now is that there are pockets of toxicity again emerging. We're not convinced right now that delivery has been made on a lot of the things that were suggested. And so there's talks going on at the moment. We're speaking to some press at the moment as well. We're trying to get more detail in terms of the progress of where we are in terms of buying the club. But we would question this moment in time that if there is division amongst our supporters, where are the supporters board? Where are the trust? Where are the trust and supporters board, who are the official voice from supporters? Where are they challenging the club? Because we're not seeing it right now. And we would urge them to basically kind of start to listen to supporters, and because it is an expensive time for Bradford City supporters during the season, and those costs soon build up. And one of the things that, and I will echo what Callie says, we are the 12th man, and there's nothing prouder. Doesn't matter where your position is on Rupp and Sparks et al. You want the club to win. I'm no different. I want the club to win every match. I'm really disappointed at the moment that we're in the form that we are. So it doesn't hurt any less. We don't want to basically cause problems for the club. But what we do want to happen is that the club, as we've said from the beginning, we want to know a plan for our club on how we're going to progress forward and move forward, how we're going to basically invest in our youth, how are we going to basically kind of rise into leagues, and what we're going to do when we get there to remain sustainable and give ourselves the opportunity to kind of progress even further. Because if we rise up leagues, more money comes into the club, more money comes into the city in terms of investment. It's good for everybody in Bradford, and it's good for Bradford City Football Club. But, what we can't carry on doing is repeating the cycle of, let's get rid of managers, then have to reset and restart again. There's a time when you have to draw a line in the sand and say, right, okay, look, we've made our bed. Because right now, I'm not convinced that Sparks would make a good choice in terms of the next manager of Bradford City Football Club. I'm just, based on his record so far, it has not worked for whatever reason. There are various different things that must be going on, because it seems we bring players to the club who've got great track records elsewhere. We bring managers to the club who've got great track records elsewhere. And they come to Bradford City and there seems to be a problem. And that's not me, that's facts. You only have to look back at our history and the performances of our managers and our teams we're in League 2 for a reason, because we're not good enough to be in League 1 at this moment in time, and we're languishing where we are because we're not good enough, and we need somebody to come in with progressivism in mind and take it by the scruff of the neck and build teams to go attack our oppositions and win games. That's it.
So our next couple of games, we've got Barrow home, Crewe Alexandra away, Swindon, Notts County away, Port Vale at home, Chesterfield at home, and then January the 1st, Barrow away. Do you know, like when you go to a game and you can tell things are going to change? It's like we had it at Tranmere. The fans lost patience with Graham Alexander. I'm going to probably say I'm going to go Notts County. No, not Notts County. Yeah, Notts County away. If we lose January, if he's still here in January, I reckon that's when people are going to start turning. It's like I work as a binman during the day, and say I do a crap job emptying bins. I get shouted at, get told off. But if you keep emptying stuff wrong, eventually you'll get the sack. So what I'm trying to say, if Graham Alexander keeps drawing or losing games, when do you think fans will say enough is enough? Because, like, I know, Callie, you do whatever for a local supermarket. Say you do that wrong, but you do it multiple times. Eventually, you'll get shouted at, won't you, or told to improve.
But Graham's not running round on the pitch. The 11 players are running round on the pitch. So it should come. Yeah, he picks the team, but he can't say, well, you've messed up there by not passing that ball to one of our players. It's been intercepted or whatever. For me, they should be dragged in and doing extra work, doing training. If they're not fast enough, if they're not fit enough, they should be getting pulled in to actually earn what their wages are. And I'd be docking wages straight from them. If I were manager, I'd be saying, well, you only completed, say, one pass out of your 100 on that game, so I'm going to dock you £1 for every pass you didn't complete. They'd soon start running about like headless chickens then, wouldn't they?
So, when we played Doncaster and we were 2-0 up, I left, I'm gone. my mate left about 60th minute. I was fed up, I was pissed off, I left. Got in the car and I drove home. When I'm in the car listening to Radio Leeds, who normally do a good commentary, they're on about, like you're saying there, Callie, they started running about. They started showing a bit of fight. They started showing a bit of passion. But
why don't
that's 2-0 down, but why are they not showing it on the pitch? This is what's annoying me.
We've always said as supporters, from my first game back in '84, I always used to hear supporters say, look, you can, we might be crap, but as long as the players go out there and they really, really go for it, if we get beaten, we get beaten, but as long as you've had a go, then you'll do well at Bradford City. And you can't tell me, I'm sorry, but no Bradford City supporter can say that when we make Valley Parade loud, it's loud, and those players get tons of support, absolutely tons of it. We back them, and we basically. It's only when they're shirking responsibilities or they're not doing what they need to do that it sometimes turns. But generally, a cop roaring them on, Midland Road roaring on, they'll get that if they show the effort. But it goes back to my point.
That's what happened in that cup game, isn't it, against Wickham? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did there. Yeah. And we didn't even have, the cop was hardly open, was it, at that game?
No, it wasn't. It was hardly open.
We wrote, it's getting that atmosphere right, isn't it, as well? That's 50% of it.
Yeah.
And we continue to back them monetarily season after season after season, regardless of what's been done the previous season before. We back them in large numbers. So, ultimately, they just need to go out and have no fear at home. Just roll with the crowd. If you make a mistake, we know that the League Two plays for a reason. They're going to make a mistake, but complete your basics, better, and you'll win games. That's all they've got to do is complete their basics. And at this moment in time, another thing that's worrying me at the moment is the amount of health professionals that we're going through in the medical staff. There's literally tons of. I keep seeing the club advertising for new vacancies because the people have left.
Yeah, I've seen that about as well.
Do you know what I noticed a lot as well on Saturday? I'm going back to Saturday's game, but it's probably the same across the board. When players actually did lose possession, probably more than half didn't go chasing it. They made a mistake, or they lost possession, or the other player were maybe better than they were at that time. But no, in the past, we've thought, shit, I've lost that. I'm going to go get it back. They were just kind of stepping back and not chasing it again and not fighting for it. And for me, that's, as a fan, you hate to see that. If you're not putting that shirt on. Yeah, they had. They literally had. But if they're not fighting to play in that, like Bobby Point, I think Bobby Poynton is one of the exceptions. He puts that shirt on and he wants to play. He's got the passion in him to want to play for that club. I think a lot of them don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like over the past few games where we've had this bad form.
So we're going to start winding down in the next 5 minutes. So Steve, do you want to shout about or vent about anything?
I just want Bradford City to get 3 points and step up now. I think this January transfer window is one of the most important that we've had in many a season. I think they've got to go balls out. They've got the money. We know they've got the money. They've got to do better in their transfer dealings this January. But for me, we need 3 points desperately tomorrow just to break this cycle.
Alex?
Yeah, I agree with what Steve just said. And to be fair, the points, we're 10th in the league. We're not at desperate measures yet. Desperate measures yet. It's still quite tight. And if we put 2 or 3 wins together, we're going to be back up in the mix again, right at the top. So we just got to keep going, haven't we? And hopefully January will sort out all these niggles that we've got.
And last but not least, Haru. You there, Haru? Okay, must have gone. Right, I'm going to save my vent for Friday when the podcast returns. So the weather forecast for tomorrow, the sun will rise at
Johnny, you there?
8 and will set. I'm still here. I'll come back to you in a minute. The sun will set at 15:48. It's going to be a bit sunny with a bit of cloud, so you'll need to take your big coats with you. Right, Haru, what you do? A shout about, vent about anything? Okay, has he gone? Can you hear me, Callie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Haru, you need to put your dial-up internet back on, mate. It's going a bit dodgy. Right, so, Callie, what are you having for your tea? What's on your plate?
I'm having spaghetti, spag bol tonight and garlic bread.
What about yourself, Steve? What's on your plate, lad? Nice.
Same, pasta bolognese.
Oh, can I just say, obviously Lee's not here tonight. Lee, if you're listening, I hope you get better soon. We're all thinking of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haru, are you here? Can you hear me, Haru? No, he can't hear me, can he? Right. I'm going to say thanks, Steve, Callie, Haru, and other people for listening and watching. Big up Tola, who's been on X as well, and Jake on TikTok, who's contributed today. If you like what you're hearing, get yourself onto all podcast services. Just search for Bradford City Chickens on the Loose and you will find us. We've got a small Facebook page, Up the Chicken, or Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook, where we do Super 6 every year and also do Golden Goal every week. So get yourself over there. And just say thanks again for everybody coming along. We've been the warm-up act for the City event, who's doing a podcast at 7, so get yourself over to the City event on Twitter/X there to listen to him, because he's a very good podcaster. Thanks for coming along again, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope City get 3 points. Up the chicken. Good night.
Bradford, it's Beagree. He's got to make this count. It's Beagree. It's 1-1. You'll see a somersault now. You'll get a double.
City till I die. City till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I'm Bradford City till I die. Oh, Bradford City till I die. Bradford's made our day, and hey, it's gonna stay. The boys have brought us glory days. So let's all rally round and really make a sound that echoes across the valley from our city's football ground.
Bradford are in the Premier League. Bradford are in the Premier League.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proud to be partnering with Lotto from the National Lottery. Make this Wednesday one to remember. You've got to be in it to win it. Lotto is the original millionaire maker, where you could become the next millionaire. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
We're BetMGM Sports and Casino. We know things aren't always golden. That's why we offer you the tools to keep your place safe. Set timeouts to always ensure you take a break when you feel like you need it. Set reality checks so you know exactly how long you've been playing. And set deposit limits to help control what you spend. Stay golden with BetMGM. Play responsibly.
18 plus.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.